Hey guys, it is March the 3rd, 2025, and I hope everybody's been having a wonderful day so far today. As you can see from behind me, it is just a beautiful day here in South Carolina. We have crystal clear blue skies, and this morning when I woke up, it was really, really cold outside. I thought it was going to be another really cold day out, but it ended up being a beautiful day today. It's probably about 65 degrees or something like that right now. It's just absolutely beautiful outside. Although I've had a bunch of stuff going on today, I had to go to the doctor this morning, and that took my whole morning up. And I came home, and then I had to leave and go run some errands. I had to go to the grocery store and get a couple of items, and then I had to get a couple things from my house. I got a couple of repairs that I've got to do, so I haven't really had a chance to really enjoy the outside yet. But it's currently 4:30 right now, and we got about another 2.5 hours or so of daylight left. So after I get done filming today's video, I'm going to try to enjoy some of this sunshine and try to get some vitamin D. And like I said, I just think that getting out in the sun, it just really does wonders for improving your mood, just making you feel better overall. There's just something about the sun. And when I was coming back home from running my errands this afternoon, I pulled up to my house and I was getting out of my car and I was grabbing my stuff to bring inside. And I was just kind of just glancing around, just looking around my yard, and I'm starting to see all the sprouts starting to come back up. All the plants are starting to get green again. They all have buds on the end of the plants. They're all about to come into bloom. And I just got this this childlike excitement in me, and it happens every single year when spring starts to hit. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's because it's like a rebirth of everything. The plants are all coming back to life. The birds are starting to come back, and they're singing and chirping, and I've been seeing a lot of wildlife back out again. I don't know, it just, like I said, just brought in this childlike excitement in me, and I just got so excited looking around at all the plants, and just the sun was shining on me. I had that warmth of the sun while I was bringing the stuff in the front door. I just stopped and just looked around, and I just soaked it all in, and man, it did something for me. It just really improved my mood today. It made me so happy. You guys know I just love plants. They're such amazing things. Just, I don't know, you can take something and, cut a little piece off and put it in water and it'll start to grow roots. Or you can just take a seed and put it in some soil, and if you water it and take care of it, it will actually grow. And to see something come from seed, especially when you plant a seed and it turns into a huge plant, that has got to be one of the coolest things in the world. You take this little teeny tiny little tomato seed and put it in the ground, and you water it and you water it, and after a couple months it turns into this humongous plant, the size of me. And it just bears so much fruit, and you can eat off of it every single day. I don't know, it's just the coolest thing in the world to me. It really is. And to be able to, especially grow vegetable plants, and to be able to feed yourself and you're eating organically, something that you grew. I'll tell you one thing too, is that when you're growing your own plants, you would be surprised, and I'm sure there's a lot of you out there who know what I'm talking about because you grow your own stuff too, but you don't waste anything. When we get, let's say, carrots, for instance, and, we're peeling the carrots, store-bought carrots, you're peeling your store-bought carrots, and you chop off the ends, and, you might chop off this much or whatever, because you didn't grow it. It's, you bought it, and it's just not, it doesn't carry the same importance that something that you grew yourself does. When I grow stuff myself, I'll peel it down, but, I'll cut just a little sliver off the end just to get the tail end of the carrot off, or sometimes I'll just even leave it on and eat that. But I just don't throw away a whole lot when I've got my own vegetables, because I want to savor as much of the vegetables as I possibly can. But anyway, I'm just carrying on right now. I got so excited about the spring is about to be here, and I just wanted to talk about that for a second today. But really quick too, tomorrow, I already know what I'm gonna do for my video, and I'm gonna be explaining what a MELD score is and how they go about calculating a MELD score, what a MELD score means, how you can go about calculating your own MELD score. I'm just going to go over the MELD, what my MELD scores have been in the past, what my experiences have been with it. I'm just going to do a whole video about MELD, and it's probably going to be a little bit of length to it. I might have to split it up into 2 videos. We'll just see, because there is quite a bit of information to discuss about the MELD. I've had quite a few questions about it lately, and I decided that I'm going to go ahead and do a video about it. I was going to do one today, but I just didn't have the time to sit down and write down all of my notes, because it's going to take a lot of notes to do that video. So I decided tomorrow I'll have the opportunity to do so. I don't have any doctor's appointments in the morning like I did today, so I'm going to sit down, write down all my notes tomorrow, and go over MELD. And I just wanted to go ahead and let you guys know about that today, because I know there are a lot of people out there who are interested in learning about that, and I'm going to be talking about that in tomorrow's video, so be on the lookout for that tomorrow. But what I want to talk about today is, and what I'm going to title today's video is, everything under the sun. And what I mean by that is, I found every reason under the sun, every reason to drink back in the day. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, because I'm sure there are so many of you out there who can relate to what I'm going to be discussing today. And when I was thinking about the topic for today's video, because like I said, I was going to talk about MELD, and the day just kept ticking by, and by the time that I finally had an opportunity to go ahead and film today, I was like, okay, I just don't have enough time to do that. So I started thinking about what else I wanted to talk about, and I already had this, I was already thinking about this as I was driving my car today, about how I just made every single excuse in the world to drink back in the day. But it didn't start out that way in the beginning. When I first started drinking, it was just about having a good time. I found alcohol. I got intoxicated for the first time. I got that warm feeling all over, that euphoria. And the thing about that euphoria too, and I was just having this conversation with one of the subscribers the other day about just that, about that first time, or that first few times that we drink or we use a substance, whatever it is, we get this amazing euphoria from it. But that only lasts but a couple times. And it really, truly does. And then we spend the rest of our life chasing that dragon, but we can never get there. And like I was telling the subscriber the other day, I was like, you might get close. If this is where we're trying to get to, we might get here, or we might get even closer, but we never do quite achieve that level of euphoria that we're seeking. It just never happens again. I know it didn't happen for me, and I drank a lot. And I just never got to that place, like that first few times. It just never happened again. And I just had this idea that tomorrow or today was going to be different. Today I'm not going to drink as much, or I'm going to drink a little bit more, or I'm going to drink whiskey instead of vodka, which I never really ever did. I just did not care for whiskey that much, unless it had cinnamon in it, but like the Fireball. But and I don't even know if that's even whiskey. But I just had this idea, I'm going to just drink beer, and that might give me the euphoria I'm looking for, or I'm going to drink vodka, and that's it. or I'm going to drink wine, or I had this idea one time that champagne was going to give me that euphoria that I was looking for. So I drank a bunch of champagne, and all I did was get sick and throw up because I had such bad indigestion from the champagne. Champagne always made my stomach hurt and gave me the worst indigestion when I drank it. Same with wine. It didn't matter if it was red or white. It just made me feel so sick, and I would always throw up. And the hangover the next day was just so bad from the wine. And I never was a wine drinker to begin with. And if I did drink wine, I didn't drink expensive wine. I was drinking the cheap stuff. I couldn't see myself spending, $50 on a bottle that I was just going to drink, in 10 minutes. So I drank the cheap stuff, and, the hangovers would just be horrible. But back to what I was talking about, in the beginning, it was just for a good time. That's all I was looking for, was just to have a good time, to let loose, to not feel the anxiety of life. There were a lot of different reasons why I drank, to become the other person that I wanted to become, that person that I thought that everybody would like. But in the end, I finally realized that nobody even liked that person. And I portrayed this role for so many years, thinking that people wanted to be around him, that people liked him. But later on, I found out that people didn't like him. People didn't want to be around him. But I was delusional. I had this idea in my head that that's who I really wanted to be. And, it wasn't a good idea to try to portray that other person. But once again, I just didn't know. I was immature. And, I've talked about this too, and I know this is kind of off subject from what I'm talking about, but I don't think that I really started to mature as a human being until I finally got sober. I just don't. And I got sober at 42 years old. So up until I was 42, I was still 18, 19, 20 years old mentally. I just was so narcissistic and worried about myself and what I wanted out of life and what I wanted to do, which was just basically get intoxicated and hang out and party and have a good time. And I did go to work every day, and so don't take it wrong that I did get up and go to work and paid my bills and obeyed the law and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I still was mentally immature. I just was immature, and that's the only way I can put it. And it wasn't until I got sober that I finally started to wake up, started to become an adult. Although I was legally an adult, and like I said, I paid my bills and did all the things that one's supposed to do. I got up and went to work every day and all those types of things. But if you were to sit down and have a conversation with me back then, I would have turned all of you guys off. I was so immature. I talked like a child. Things that I thought were funny that looking back now was just ridiculous. It was not funny. The things I would say to people it just wasn't cool. But, back to what I was saying, like I said in the beginning, it was because I wanted to have a good time. I wanted to party. But as time went on and the more drinking that I did, it started to become a part of my life. And it started to become a crutch for me. It became a vice. I started to lean on the alcohol. I needed the alcohol. And it started to become something to where I couldn't do anything without having a drink. It's one of the sneaky things that alcohol and drugs do to us. In the beginning, like I said, it's just a good time. We just want to party. We want to feel good. But as time goes on, we start to rely on it. Like I said, we start to use it as a crutch, and then we can't do anything without the drugs or the alcohol. Something as simple as I just need to go to the grocery store and grab some milk. Before, when I was younger, I could just run to the store and go grab a gallon of milk. But, as I, got worse and worse with my AUD, I couldn't do anything. If I had to go to the store and get a gallon of milk, I had to have a few mixed drinks before I went and did it. If my kids had a soccer game that I had to go to, well, I had to have a couple of mixed drinks before I went because, in my mind, I told myself I was going to be way too stressed out. My anxiety was going to be too high, and I had to have those drinks. And the thing about it, too, is that I remember back then, if it was like, let's say a Monday and I was off that day, but my kids had a soccer game or soccer practice, let's say 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I might wake up that morning and have a couple drinks, maybe 1 or 2 drinks that morning. But I had to wait until later on that afternoon before I could drink again. Because, I was always very scared of getting pulled over and getting a DUI. It's one of those things I just, I did risk it a lot because I did drive after I was drinking, but I never really drove when I was super intoxicated. Although if I had gotten pulled over, I probably would have gotten a DUI anyway because my BAC was through the roof. But I was highly functional. My tolerance had gotten to the point to where I could drink a pint and wouldn't even feel it. I wouldn't feel anything. Maybe a little bit looser, but I wasn't intoxicated by any means. But I would have to wait all day long because I knew I had to have my drinks before I went to the soccer game, and I would get so irritated. I would be so irritable throughout the day because I couldn't drink the way that I wanted to. And I would have an attitude with everybody. If somebody called and wanted to talk to me, I would just, I wouldn't want to speak. I'd be rude because I was so annoyed that I couldn't drink the way that I wanted to. Because I knew that I had to drive, I have to go pick my kids up, or I just had to go meet them at the soccer field or whatever. But I had to wait all day long so that I could have those 2 or 3 mixed drinks before I got in my car and drove to the soccer game. And I would be so annoyed that I couldn't just drink the way that I wanted to. And my whole thing was, it's my day off. I can't enjoy myself. I've worked all week long. I worked 70 hours last week, and here's my day off, and I just can't even enjoy myself the way that I want to. But that's just the way my mind worked. And, like I said, it started to get to the point where it was everything under the sun. Every reason under the sun was a reason for me to drink. It wasn't about me wanting to just party and have a good time anymore. It wasn't about the fact that I had worked a 12-hour shift and I just wanted to come home and have a cold beer before I got into the bed. No. Now it was any reason was a reason for me to drink. And I used every single reason under the sun as a reason to drink. I have to go to the doctor or something. Well, I've got to drink. I've got to go to work. Well, I've got to drink. I've got to stay late at work. Well, I've got to drink. I've got to go in on my day off to get prepared for a big wedding. I have to drink for that. I've got a meeting I have to go to. I have to drink for that. I've got to take my wife to the doctor. Well, I've got to drink for that. I've got to take my kids to the doctor. Well, I've got to have a drink for that. I've got to go pick my kids up from school. Well, I've got to have a drink for that. I've got to, you name it. I had a reason to drink. I had to drink before anything I did. And it got to the point where whatever it was that I was about to do, I had to drink first. Something as simple as I had to just, let's say it was Christmas time and one of my children got a new piece of furniture for their bedroom. Well, I can't put that together sober, so I've got to drink for that. And I would always use these excuses and tell my wife, I can't do it unless I can drink. I remember one time my wife asking me to get on the tractor and go out to her horse paddock and drag it and clean it out because, you have to clean their paddocks and their stalls because, they poop in there. And it eventually starts getting filled up. You got to go in there and scrape it out. And not to mention You scrape all of that horse manure and you can use it for anything. I take my horse manure and I spread it on my grass. I take the manure and I put it around my trees, especially like ones that I've planted. I'll put a big round circle of the manure around the trees. When I go to plant plants, I'll dig a big hole. I'll fill the bottom of it with manure, and then I'll fill it in with the rest of the way with sand. And then as I finish, I'll put manure on it. I just use manure for everything. So I had to get it cleaned up. But my point is that, I told my wife after she asked me to go out there and scrape it. It was like a Sunday afternoon one day, and she just wanted me to go out there and clean it up. And I told my wife, I can't. And she said, why? I said, because I don't have beer. And this is one of those weekends where I had told my wife I wasn't going to drink. And I told my wife I can't do it if I don't have beer. And she said, well, then don't worry about doing it. I got so upset because I knew for sure that she was going to tell me, then go to the store and go get your beer then. If that's the case, if you need beer to clean out the horse paddock, then go get your beer. But she didn't. She looked at me and said, never mind, it's not that big of a deal. I was furious because I didn't have a reason to go to the store and get beer now. And I had been waiting for her to ask me to do it because I knew that was going to be my excuse to go. Like I said, any reason under the sun. I looked for any excuse. And it was everything. It didn't matter what it was. If I had to cut the grass, I had to drink. If I had to weed eat, I had to drink. If I was taking my kids camping, just right here on my property, well, I had to drink for that. If we were going on vacation, I had to drink. And if we were going on vacation and I was like getting ready for the vacation, I'm packing up my stuff, 2 weeks in advance before we're about to go. Well, I have to drink to do that. Here's another one too. It took us 20 years to find the house that we live in now. And I'm telling you guys, we looked at over 100 houses over that 20-year period. My wife would find a house or 2 houses or whatever, and we went just about, every other week or so and went and looked at a home. My wife would always find houses and send them to me and say, can we go look at that this weekend after you get off work or whatever? And I would say, yeah. And as soon as she told me that, a light bulb went off in my head. And I'm like, ding, I can drink. So I would tell her, the day of, I'd say, yeah, we can go. And then the day of, as we were leaving to go look at the house, I'd say, stop by the store. She'd say, what, why? I'd say, well, I need to get some beer. I need to get some liquor. If you want me to go look at this house, I have to drink for it. And I would use that as a bargaining tool all the time. If there was something that I didn't want to do, well, I need to drink for that. So it was always a way for me to leverage my way into having a drink. Although it upset my wife and she would get pissed off at me every single time, I still would use that as a reason to drink. If I was having a bad day at work, I drank. If I was having a good day at work, I drank. I can't tell you guys how many times that something great happened and I had to drink for it and I would ruin it. I went and one time we drove all the way up to Charlotte. My wife was looking for a new truck at the time, and she really wanted a bigger truck. We had a Toyota Tacoma at the time, and it just wasn't big enough. We had a trailer that we had a big camper that we were pulling, and it just wasn't big enough. We had just gotten back from driving down to Florida. We went down there and spent a week down there and stayed at one of the campgrounds at Disney World in our camper. And when we were driving back, it was really windy and it was blowing the camper all over the place, and the truck was just going all over the road, and we were like, okay, we got to get a bigger truck. So we were looking for a F-250 Super Duty, and there was one up in Charlotte. It was like a Saturday, And my wife found it, and she said, hey, look, I found this really nice truck. I said, let's go right now. Let's leave. And she was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to drive all the way up there right now. I just wanted to show you this. And I was like, no, let's go. Let's leave right now. So we loaded up. We got the kids. We put them in the truck. And then we left. And we drove up to Charlotte. And it takes about 4.5, 5 hours for us to get to Charlotte from where we live. So we drive all the way up to Charlotte, haul butt up there, and light bulb went off. Light bulb went off immediately when she showed me that truck, because I was like, I can drink today. And you know what I did? We drove all the way up there. Of course, I stopped by the store, got a 12-pack of beer, drank that the whole way up there. We get to Charlotte. As soon as we got there, I went straight inside and told them I'm here, because I'd already called them and told them we were on the way. I said, that's the truck that we want. They said, well, there's another family here who want to get that truck as well. Were they? I don't know. Were they trying to trick me and to go on ahead and purchasing the truck? I don't know. Probably, but maybe not, because there was another family over there, but I don't know if they were actually looking at the truck that we were looking at. But anyway, I got the key from the guy. My wife went and drove it. And the next thing you know, we came back and my wife's like, what do you think? And I was like, let's get it. The only reason I was willing to even buy that truck was because I knew that I could drink that day and not have to hear anything from her if I got that truck for her. And I probably could drink all week long and not have to hear anything from her, because I just bought her a brand new truck. And that's what happened. I bought that truck. We left, went by the liquor store on the way home, and I drank liquor the rest of that night, and then drank liquor for like the rest of that week. And that was always my excuse. You know, my wife would come home from work and I'm wasted. Liquor bottle sitting on the counter. And she's like, are you seriously drinking right now? I'm like, are you seriously complaining about this? I just got you a new truck. And that's the kind of stuff that I would do. And I know that I sound like a complete jerk right now talking about this, but guys, it's just the honest truth. You know, when we drink, when we're in active addiction, we become the biggest manipulators and liars, and our whole life becomes a lie. And I'm not going to say that for everybody, because there's some of you out there who didn't go that deep and just aren't those type of people. I can tell you that I'm not that type of person anymore. When I drink, I become that person, but when I'm sober, I'm not like that at all. I don't lie, I don't cheat, I don't steal. I just don't have any reason for any of that. And I never stole for it like that anyway. I mean, I never was like a thief or anything, but I did a lot of lying and a lot of manipulation and a lot of deceiving. I was a very deceitful person. I didn't care what I had to do in order to get drunk. I really didn't. But back to everything under the sun. I mean, it really was everything under the sun. I used every single excuse. I looked for any excuse. And it's really sad to think about that, to go back and think, man, back then, whatever it was, whatever the situation was, I was already in my mind figuring out a way to take that situation and manipulate it and turn it around and work it so that it would work out for me. Every situation. Just like that truck story. Maybe I was off that day and, you know, I was home with one of my kids. And if let's say I took my oldest son fishing for the day that day, you know, it was my day off. I got up that morning and, you know, let's say maybe he was home, I don't know, spring break or something. I would wake up in the morning, say, let's go fishing today. We'd get our fishing poles, stop by the store, get some worms, head out wherever we're going to go to the river or whatever. And I'd take them fishing for the day. And we would have a good time. But as soon as we would be on the way back home, I'd call my wife. Hey, I just got finished. We've been fishing all day. spending time together, blah, blah, blah. I've been in the sun all day long. I'm so tired, this and that. I'm just going to stop and grab a couple of beers. It's been a long day. And I was using the fact that I had done something with my son that day, like I was a good dad. I was using the fact that I was a good dad that day as a reason to drink. That was my reasoning. And that was my motive. That's how I used the situation in order to get what I wanted. I went to the grocery store, just like today. I went to the grocery store today. I just went to the grocery store. I came home. I didn't tell my wife, some grandiose story or anything like that. I sent her a text message before I went, and I said, is there anything you need? And I was only going in there to grab a couple of things, but I just texted her. I said, is there anything you need while I'm here? No. I said, okay. I'm just going to run in here and grab some yogurt and some fruit, and I'll be out. Back in the day when I was a drinker, if I had gone to the grocery store, I would say, I just went to the grocery store and spent 2 hours there and had to carry all the groceries in by myself. And then I had to put them all away. And then on top of it, then I had to make dinner. I spent my whole entire day doing all this stuff. I deserve to have a drink. And it's just totally ridiculous to think about. Like I said, I used every single reason under the sun. If I had to go to the doctor because I was sick, well, I had to drink that day because I had to go to the doctor. I was stressed out. I was scared. If my car broke down, I had to drink. I was upset. I was pissed off that my car broke down. I have to drink. If I got a bonus check at work, something great happened, I need to celebrate, I'm going to drink. I can't tell you guys how many times I took my wife out to dinner as a means, because my wife loves to go out to eat. She absolutely loves to go out to eat, and I knew that. And I used that as a way to manipulate her into allowing me to drink without having to hear it from her, without her getting upset. So I would say, you want to go out to eat tonight? And I knew she would always say, yeah. And we go to the restaurant, and as soon as we sit down, I'd order myself a liquor drink. And it always had to be a double. And she'd go, are you seriously drinking liquor at the restaurant? And then I'd go, oh, I'm only going to have 2. That's it, just 2. And then I'm going to drink beer. And she'd be upset with me, but we were already at the restaurant at that point. And I would ruin our dinner. We could have had a great time together. But as soon as I ordered that liquor drink, the whole look on her face changed. That smile got turned upside down immediately. It was like her face went from being happy and this big smile, and she was so excited, to stone cold. The look on her face was just, she was so disappointed in me. But I didn't care. I really didn't. I didn't care. And I would sit there and just order my drinks. And the crazy thing about it is I'd go in the restaurant and drink to the point where I would get drunk. Liquor drinks from the bar. I would spend $70, $80 on liquor drinks when I could have just went and bought a bottle for $20. And I could have got where I wanted to go. But because my wife didn't like the fact that I drank, and I had to use this situation as a means for me to drink, I would just sit at the restaurant and get drunk because I knew that I could do it. And that was how I was going to get drunk that day. Especially if it was a Sunday, because our liquor stores around here don't sell liquor on Sundays. So, I'd already be, Sunday morning, I'd wake up and go to make myself my first drink for the day. And realize I've only got, this much left in my half gallon. I'm like, this isn't going to work. I need more alcohol. So when she'd wake up that morning, I'm already trying to figure the situation out. My mind's already working. And I'd say, hey, you want to go out to dinner tonight? She'd say, I don't know. I really don't know. It's Sunday, and I got to go to work tomorrow. And then I'd go, man, I'd figure out, I'd think about what's her favorite food, and I'd start throwing hints out there. Sure, it'd be nice if we could have a chimichanga today or whatever. And then she'd say, man, chimichanga sure does sound good. I knew right then, I got her. I'm going to be able to get drunk tonight. We're going to go to the restaurant. And she'd tell me, you better not order any alcohol, any liquor when we go to the restaurant. Of course I'm not. Guys, I would get up from the table and walk to the bar and order shots. I'd say, I need to go to the bathroom. And I'd walk up to the bar, order a shot, take it, or two. Usually I'd get two. I'd slam them really fast and then go sit back down at the table and pay for it separate so that she wouldn't see me. It's just crazy, the stuff that I used to do and the amount of things that I would go through just in order just to get intoxicated. Like I said, every reason under the sun, whether it was a good reason, whether I had a great day or something great happened to me, I just got a bonus check at work or whatever, or it was a bad day or something bad happened that day. I had a flat tire, my car broke down, the wheel fell off, I got reprimanded at work, one of my kids got in trouble at school, whatever. If something bad happened, that was a reason to drink. If nothing happened at all, that was a reason to drink. It didn't matter whatever it was. There was always a reason. I always had a reason to drink. I always could justify my reason to drink. And every single morning when I woke up, the gears were already turning. I was already trying to figure out a way to get to where I wanted to be. I'm so glad that I don't wake up in the morning any longer with that being the first thing on my mind. I'm already trying to figure out the hustle of how I'm going to get to where I want to be. I don't have to worry about that anymore. And you guys don't have to worry about that anymore either. We can wake up in the morning and think about something else. We can wake up in the morning and think about, what coffee am I going to have today? What am I going to do today? Am I going to work on writing my book or writing in my journal or painting this picture or drawing this? Or am I going to go to work today? And what am I going to work on at work? Or whatever it is. But we can focus on other things. It's not just all about our addiction and how we're going to get to where we want to be, or how we're going to score either our alcohol or whatever the substance is. We don't have to worry about that anymore. We're not on that hamster wheel anymore. We can break free from it. Life is so much better on this side. It really, truly is. And for any of you guys out there right now that have just recently gotten sober, and those thoughts keep entering your mind, and you're pacing back and forth, and you're struggling, and you can't stop thinking about it, it will eventually get further and further apart. I promise you. It does. I know it's not easy in the beginning. It's very difficult. But anything in life that's worth anything at all takes hard work. It's just like going to college. It's not easy. But there's a reason that after you graduate and get your master's degree or your bachelor's degree or whatever it, or your associate's degree, there's a reason that they pay you based on your education. It's because it takes a lot of hard work to get there. If it was easy, everybody would have a degree. Everybody. There's a reason that people go to college. There's a reason that, people go to work every single day. It's because it takes hard work. That's why they pay us after we go to work. Depending on what your job is or whatever. I mean, everything takes hard work. It all does. But the payoff in the end is so worth it. It's like getting a tattoo. It's not like you sit down and within 5 minutes the tattoo's done. No. Tattoos take a long time to have done. First you have to go in. They got to shave. Well, first off, you have to go in there and just discuss what the tattoo that you want is. And then the tattoo artist has to draw it up. And then they've got to get your paperwork filled out, and then you have to give them your driver's license and sign this and sign that, and they need to make a copy of your driver's license and the agreement, and then you guys finally come up with what tattoo you want. They finish drawing it up, then they take it and they print it out on that little stencil paper, and then they put it on you, where spray the water on you, and then put the stencil paper on, and then pull it off, and then you look at it in the mirror and you say yes or no. Do you like where it is? Are you happy with this? And you say yes or no. And then you sit down in the tattoo chair and they have to get all their stuff prepared and get their gloves on, get the ink out, get the tattoo gun ready. And then they have to do the whole lining and everything. They do the whole, the outline of the tattoo. And a lot of times, depending on how big the tattoo is, that might be all you get done for that day, is just the outline, because they need that to heal up before you go in and have it all filled in. And then you got to come back in 2 weeks and sit down while they shade all the stuff in. And it takes 6 hours to get done. And it hurts. And it swells up. And you're bleeding all over the place. And you've got to pay a bunch of money for it. It's not easy getting a big tattoo, but guess what? After it's all said and done, man, is it pretty. And you get to look at it every day and go, man, I'm glad I had that done. That is so cool. It's the same thing with drinking or using or whatever. Getting sober isn't easy, and it takes a lot of work, and it takes time. But later on down the road, you're going to look back and say, I'm so glad that I went through with that. And I stuck it out. You're going to be so glad that you stuck it out. I promise you. If you're dealing with that pacing and the sleepless nights and the RLS, and you just can't get comfortable, and you're so annoyed and irritated, and you're snapping at everybody anytime anybody asks you a question, or somebody calls your phone and you just get so annoyed that somebody even just called you that you snap on them, or you can't eat anything and you feel sick all the time and your head hurts and your stomach hurts and you've got diarrhea and all this stuff, just hang in there. It's going to get better. And like I said, you're going to look back on all of this and you're going to be so glad that you stuck through it. You really will be. So guys, I think that's it for today. Like I said in tomorrow's video, I'm going to be talking about a MELD score. I'm going to talk about the MELD, what it is, how they determine it, all that stuff. So be on the lookout for that video tomorrow. I'm really excited about doing that video too. I'm sure I'm going to learn some things with my research I'm going to be doing as well. And other than that, really quick before I get off of here, don't forget about the Buy Me a Coffee. Guys, I can't thank y'all enough. I truly, truly do appreciate each and every single one of you that has donated. Anybody that's donated for the super thanks, the Buy Me a Coffee. We're selling a bunch of merch here again. We just got, my wife just ordered 2 new colors of the merch, and they are super awesome. It's like a lightish kind of blue. It's hard to describe, but there's a blue and then there is a purple. And that I cannot wait for that purple to get here. I love purple. I'll be wearing the shirts so you guys can see them. The new hats that we designed, guys, I'll be wearing the new hats every single day. They are so cool. There's going to be a gray with a teal back with the 33 and the Old English on one side. So it'll be 2 3s like right here and like about that big. So it'll be 2 big 3s in Old English just on the one side of the hat. And they'll be in the color that's on the back of the hat. So we've got a pink and gray. So it'll be the pink in the back with the pink embroidery on the hat, and then the teal and gray with the teal embroidery on the hat, and then we're going to have a black and gray. So it'll be a gray front, black back, and then it'll have the black 33 embroidered on the front. It's going to be so cool. I cannot wait for you guys to see the new merch. Thank you so much for everybody who's been purchasing it. It's really neat to see this stuff starting to move again. And like I said, thank you so much to everybody that's donated to Buy Me a Coffee. Guys, that truly does help support me. It allows me to make these videos every single day. I can't thank you guys enough for the support. So I'm going to put the link up here on the screen, and I'm going to add the thank yous to everybody who's donated here from yesterday. After I have a cutoff time, and it just depends daily whenever I go to make the video. But the cutoff from yesterday, so I'll be posting everybody that I didn't post in yesterday's video from then till today. I think there's like 5 more supporters that have supported the channel just today. And I'm going to have your names up on the screen right here. And thank you so much, guys. I truly do appreciate it. I'm going to continue every single day to post a thank you with your name at the end of the video. If you don't want your name posted, I completely understand. You can either, when you go to donate to buy me a coffee, you can put your name in there, and there's a place for you to put a comment. And in that comment, you can just say, hey, please, LD, please don't put my name up on the screen. And I'll be more than happy, because I know some of you want me to know who you are, but you don't want your name on the screen, and I totally understand that. So all you have to do, like I said, is you can donate to the Buy Me a Coffee, and you could put your name in there, and then just in the comment, just say, hey, LD, if you don't mind, just please don't put my name up, and I'll be more than happy to not do it. Or you can also go on there and just put anonymous. I had somebody just the other day, I've had 2 people actually at this point do a donation, and they put someone. I've also had somebody else just put anonymous on there. So you can do whatever you want to do. If you do want to let me know who you are and you don't want me to post it, just write it in the comment. Just say, please don't post my name, and I won't. So guys, thank you so much again. I truly do appreciate it. It's not only helping me, it's helping my family out. And I can't thank you guys enough. So anyway, with that said, don't forget, tomorrow's going to be about MELD. And I know there's a lot of you out there who are going to want to watch this video. I get so many questions about, how do you figure out your MELD and all that kind of stuff. Tomorrow's going to be the video for each and every single one of you, and I'm going to discuss it, and I'm going to talk about what my MELD has been throughout all of this, because my MELD has gone up and down. But I'm going to explain all that to you guys tomorrow. It's 46 minutes in now, so I better go ahead and hop off of here. And I know that a lot of people aren't going to want to watch a 46-minute long video on a Monday night, so I need to go ahead and cut this off. But anyway, thank you so much, guys. And until tomorrow, I will see y'all then. I really do love each and every single one of you so much. This community is so awesome. I am so grateful to know each and every single one of you. I truly am. And to be able to call each and every single one of you a friend of mine. Guys, I'll see y'all tomorrow.